Sunday, a flea market, a show, and a ton of comic books. Let's see what I picked up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics. Welcome you to another video. Before we get started, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel. I appreciate all the support, all the people who watch. And if you're watching and enjoying this content, give us a subscription. Give us a follow. Also, follow us on other social media. I am on Instagram at Bronzeville_comics, as well as Whatnot, also Bronzeville_comics. And there's a link in the description of this video if you have not yet signed up with Whatnot and you use the link in the description, you'll get $10 off your first purchase. Doesn't have to be with me. Also, there's a link to my eBay store and to my email. So I got a message, and I'm trying to find where I put the books. Hold on a second. There they are. I got a message from a guy that sells at the local flea market that he had picked up some new books, and it was a gorgeous day. Although I'm very early in the morning, it was kind of chilly. And he had like 2 piles and a box of modern, non-bagged and boarded, but still in nice condition. And it was one of the things that was a little bit frustrating is it was mostly DC, kind of skewed towards Rebirth. But there weren't a lot of the big keys, but there was, in terms of books a little bit older than that, they did have a collection of Superman, Batman, but no number 8. 2 number 9s. So I just grabbed all these Turner covers. Number 10. I think that's a variant, and I think 11 is also a variant. I'm not even sure if that's Turner. It is Turner. 12. And 13. 13 might be a variant as well. Now, the other keys in this run, and nothing was really kind of together, are 22 and 23. These are the first appearances of Batman Beyond in continuity. These are in decent shape, but probably not 9/8 candidates. There were a couple of older books that I grabbed just because of what they were. Swamp Thing 82. By this time, Alan Moore was no longer writing the book. It was Rick Veitch, mid-grader. And a newsstand edition of Batman 551 with the Ragman, a Kelly Jones cover. There was Far Sector, number 1. This, I believe, is the B cover. And Avengers Forever, numbers 2 and 6. Didn't have the entire mini-series. 2 is the first appearance of Genesis Vell. And probably the best book that was there. This is pretty high grade. This, potentially with a press. I have to take a closer look. Maybe. It's not really worth getting graded 9/8 right now, but this is more of a spec book. This is Brightest Day number 4, the first appearance of Jackson Hyde, who becomes the second Aqualad. And if you're familiar with the Young Justice cartoon series, that is the character that is the Aqualad character, essentially, in Young Justice. And I have a feeling that Young Justice might inform James Gunn and Peter Safran on some storylines in the DCU, just because it is popular with a younger segment of the audience. It's the show does have a following, and it incorporates a lot of characters. If you're a DC fan, I mean, I'm a big DC guy, and they were having characters, and I'm like, wait, who is that character? It was like they a lot of obscure characters, a lot of well-known characters, focusing on the younger characters, the Teen Titans kind of era of characters, but a series that's well worth a watch, actually. So, that characters like Miss Martian as well are characters that I've been picking up. So that was the flea market early in the morning. From there, I drove out to New Jersey to go to the monthly Clifton Comic Show. And I've been there quite a bit before. If you watch Erod's channel, he always does videos of the showroom floor. So I think that I wouldn't do that because I think that's kind of redundant. And I was talking with him for quite a bit. Streetside Anthony was there. A lot of people from the community. It was a smaller show than usual because it was Mother's Day, and a lot of people, both vendors and potential buyers, had family plans. And I was able to get away. We weren't really doing anything particularly big for Mother's Day. So I went to a comic show. Why not? And let's take a look at what I picked up. So I was digging next to Erod. These were all half-price books, and some of these were Michael Turner autographed books. And I was saying to Erod, I said, Fathom just made like news on Key Collector, and I'm not completely familiar with the series, but there was just Hollywood Reporter did an article that former Marvel chairman David Maisel has a plans to create an Avatar Marvel universe based on Fathom, Soulfire, and other Michael Turner creations. So they, probably a good time to pick up these books. I'm not exactly sure of the value of them, but there were a few of them. These were Philadelphia Wizard World exclusives. Then one of the first things I happened upon, and I guess I was the first one to jump into this pile, were these books. This is a pretty nice condition. Wolverine Limited Series number 2, newsstand. 2 copies of number 3. And a copy of number 4. No, number 1, but still, these were really good prices, I think, for these books, and they are pretty sharp. This was, there was a run of Wonder Woman. I grabbed this. This is the first appearance of Cassie Sandsmark, who later becomes Wonder Girl, the second Wonder Girl. I guess the third Wonder Girl, because the first Wonder Girl really is just young Wonder Woman, and the second Wonder Girl is Donna Troy. And it just goes to show John Byrne really couldn't draw kids. But that was a good book. This I picked up. Actually, I just got a run of this particular title. I didn't realize it ran all the way until 1976. But Plop number 22, and it's a giant, because I've been collecting these DC Bicentennial banners. I don't know how many I have, but I have to be pretty close to most of them. Again, I kind of, I'm more of a DC guy, and I was, 9 years old when these came out. So, it's part of my childhood. I remember them as on some of the books that I bought off the stand as a kid in the summer of 76, including like All-Star Comics and Justice League. So that's, it's kind of, to me, it's akin to that Marvel 25th Anniversary Border books, where you just, that month, because there's something that's similar with all the books, you pick it up. And me as a DC guy. Felicia Hardy, Black Cat number 1. Then this was, I think, in pretty decent shape. Action 421, the first appearance of Captain Strong, who is basically a Popeye imitation. And then I was also in the Action Comics bin, so I got the last pre-crisis book, and I guess this is the last one on Kurt Swan was the regular artist. Alan Moore wrote the story, basically the final Superman story. That's a good book to have. And then there were some adventure comics, and I've been picking up a lot of these Legion first appearances. I have a good run of these adventure comics, and I have to see if these are upgrades in terms of condition. But this is the first appearance of Universo, who is a villain of the Legion. And it's also the first appearance of his son, Ron Vidar, who is later revealed, like in 1980s, about 20 years later, revealed that he's a Green Lantern. But Green Lanterns were outlawed in the 30th century, so that the Adventure Comics didn't have to deal with the Green Lantern Corps, essentially. Then there's this is a which one is this? 365. Is that a Neil Adams cover? Yeah, great Neil Adams cover. The first appearance of Shadowlass, and she's right there on the cover. So I've been trying to grab, as many Legion first appearances. These aren't specifically Legion characters, but it's another Neil Adams cover. It's first appearance of the Tornado Twins, who are the children in the future of Barry Allen and Iris West Allen. Timey-wimey stuff that DC was doing at the time. And then I picked this up. There's some water damage on it. This is, I got this for $5, right? Infinity Inc. number 15. First artwork in DC for Todd McFarlane. He also did the cover. I do have to see. I'll take a look to see if a press would benefit this. In terms of condition, it looks really nice and shiny in the Mylar. But that is a book that has some value. Pick this up, Cobra number 1. Right price, I'll pick that book up. It's certainly an organization that DC can use in terms of the villains. Although it might be a little too similar to Hydra. This I picked up. This is Legion of Superheroes from 2010, number 1. This is the second print. There is a 1 in 10 ratio variant, which is basically the color version of this cover, but it's a Jim Lee artwork of Saturn Girl. The 1 in 10 is like a $250 book in a 9.8. Then I was surprised to find this. I don't know what's wrong with it. It looks nice in the bag, but it's Long Shot number 1. $10 or $5 actually. I got it for. It's half price. This is a book I grab all the time. Mid-grade. Shade the Changing Man number 1. If you've watched the channel at all, I've picked up a bunch of these. Again, he's a member of the Justice League Dark. He was created by Steve Ditko. $5. This I picked up because it was a... who is the cover artist? Kayanan? Raphael Kayanan? Maybe of Spectre is signed. And then this I thought was very interesting. If you're familiar with this book, Superman 317, it's a Neil Adams cover. But there's something with the color strike that's completely off. It's like the reds are darker and the blues are more muted. I'll try to, if I remember, put a picture somewhere here of the normal version of the cover, so we can compare. So I thought, for Neil Adams cover, just in general, that was worth it. This is in mid-grade, but it's first appearance of Dawn Star, and she has a great cover right there. Another member of the Legion. And then this, I got for $5. That's a Superman, but it's a newsstand. It's not one of the later printings. If you get the later printings in a newsstand, those are really worth it. That was where I spent most of my time, just digging through those half-price bins. I didn't spend a lot of time at the show because it was Mother's Day. I wanted to get back home. Then there's a book that I've been picking up, and especially if it looks to be in high grade, and this looks pretty sharp. Miracle Man number 1. Listen, Marvel's put him back in a series. I think this is a great book, a great read, and a great character. So that was good to have. And then I picked up, at one of the booths, I picked up a couple of Golden Age books. And that's why I'm wearing my shirt here. My Captain Marvel Jr. shirt, Captain Marvel number 28. It's a low-grade book. But you can see it was listed for $10, and I bundled it with the other one. I also, recently, if you saw the unboxing from that auction, I got another Captain Marvel Jr. low grade. I have a couple others. If I see them in whatever grade, I'll put them aside. Just to have them. And then I noticed on the wall, and I looked it up, I noticed the cover date, and it was from May of 1946, and I've been collecting. The price was right, especially for a superhero book. And this is Police Comics, number 54. Plastic Man is the cover feature. And I'm not sure what the other features were in this book. It does have, I think, slightly rusted staples, but the book is, intact. The slight rust at the bottom staple. Let's see if it migrates through, if I can find the centerfold. No, it's not really. So it's very slight rust. Some soiling, but I mean, a tight book. Pretty clean. And Police Comics was, of course, it is barely hanging on at the top staple. Was one of these books that was an anthology. So I think was number 1 where Plastic Man made his debut. It also has the version of Manhunter. There were 2 Manhunters. DC had one, and Quality had this one. And they were both retconned as members of the... Dan Richards is this one. Paul Kirk was the DC one. The DC one was... he had like a red suit with a blue face, and Simon and Kirby did a number of his issues. And... these are all personal collection books. I'm trying to complete that May 1946 run. Then there are some humor titles. And then this is... And look at the art on this. I'm trying to remember who the artist is. Is this Reed Crandall? But this is cool. This is really... Look at that line work. Human Bomb. I'm not sure who did the artwork on that, but it's nice, clean line work for Golden Age. And then, again, another humor title, Candy. And, oh, this is awesome. I did not even realize that this was still in Spirit. Spirit was still in there. So that is, I mean, a great... This is probably by 46. I think these were 52 pages. The early Golden Age, early 40s, most of the books were 64 pages. But the war effort and paper drives and everything, and, trying to keep prices at 10 cents, they eventually went from, I think, 48 to 50, 64 to 52 to 48 down to 32 until they eventually went to 12 cents. And then I was about to leave, and I saw Steve from Elite Comic Sales, and he... I got some books from him, and I bundled them together. He gave me a really nice deal. Action Comics, $6.95, first appearance of Silver Banshee. Detective, $5.85, first appearance of Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher 2 was in the Suicide Squad movie directed by James Gunn. The character in the movie is the daughter of the original Ratcatcher, who was played by Taika Waititi in flashbacks in that movie. The actress who played her was also in Guardians of the Galaxy. I've been picking this book up. First appearance of Professor Pig. I don't know if this will have any significance for the Brave and the Bold movie, because this Batman is Dick Grayson. Then I've gotten this book a few times lately. This is a direct edition. Biker Mice from Mars, number 1. Fairly high grade. Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil number 230. Basically, it's just that Born Again is on the cover in the title. This is... We talked about Manhunter. This is the first appearance of Manhunter in the Bronze Age. And I think it's Mark Shaw at this point in time. And then, a book I get all the time. And since I bundled everything together, I was happy with the price of this. I didn't really take a close look at this. If it's... I'd love to... I don't yet have this particular cover in a 9/8. I've had success with the A cover. And... maybe. There is a bindery issue at the top, but possibly a 9/8. Definitely like 9/4 plus. I would, just on first glance, there are... back cover needs to be cleaned up and what have you. And that's Infinite Crisis 5, first appearance of Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. I really like that book and that character and that series. So that's it for the show and the flea market. Let me know what you think about what I picked up. That Police Comics is the main one that's going in the personal collection. The Adventure Comics, I'm going to see if they're upgrades, but I like to be grabbing those Legion first appearances because they're for Silver Age, and some of them early Silver Age, they're fairly affordable. And, the try to get in decent condition as well. And listen, they were introducing new members all the time. They introduced the bulk of the members in the late 50s, really. And then, going through, they were introducing new members. So there are a lot of members of Legion of Superheroes. And if the DCU with James Gunn and Peter Safran, if they ever decide to explore that, corner of the DC universe, there are a lot of characters to pull from. And we could see characters spike in popularity much the way that the Guardians characters have become big characters. I mean, think about if you go back 10 years ago, what was the price on the first appearance of Groot or Rocket Raccoon or Star-Lord? Drax is with Thanos, so that he's a little bit different. Even Nebula, who was introduced in the 80s, those were not huge keys. And they're turning the movie. So if they produce a Legion series and they focus on like 6 or 8 characters, who knows? Anyway, that's it for my haul. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you want to take a look at a couple of other videos here, if you enjoy this content, you might like this stuff as well. I don't know. Maybe you will. Check it out. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.